So guys, in previous classes, we have worked with if-else programming construct as well as switch case programming construct. So in today's class, I'll start uh, I'll start looping constructs, loops, which is one of the very important concept of any programming language. You take it, okay? And let me revise one point, that the way the statements are executed is known as control flow, or you can say program flow. And there are totally three types of program flow statements: sequence, selection, and loops or iterations. And remember, sequence is the default one. Means whenever you write group of instructions in your program, all these instructions will be executed from top to bottom and no statement will be skipped. But whereas if you take selection programming construct, in selection programming construct, only few statements will be executed based upon the criteria. So what you have to do is, whenever you want to execute only few statements, and if you want to skip few statements from your code, then you need to work with selection programming construct. And that's where the concept of if else as well as switch case will come into picture. And sometimes what happens, like we want to execute the same set of statements continuously, or we can say repeatedly, for more than one time. And that's where the concept of loops or looping constructs will come into picture. And in today's class, I'll explain you like what do you mean by loops, why you should use loops, and when to use loops. That everything will be discussed in today's class. And see, I've given login access. So what you have to do is, before you start C programming language, you need to finish. You need to finish uh, two courses. Let me share my screen and show you that what are the two courses you should finish. First course what you should finish is computer basics. It is just a 1 hour course, okay? And I have given MS-DOS commands also as a part of this course. So once you learn MS-DOS commands, then I'll help you to create own commands by your own. And second course is programming basics, flowcharts, and pseudocodes. So in this course, I have covered like how softwares are built, what are the different stages in software development we have, and what is the logic and how a logic has to be implemented. So I've explained clearly like what is algorithm, what is flowchart, and what is pseudocodes, and how you can draw flowcharts and pseudocodes by using some special kind of flowcharting softwares. So before you start working with C programming language, I want you to finish this two courses, okay? And the second course will take totally 6 hours of time. 6 hours of content is there. And after that, you need to begin with C programming language. So let me open the portal. So this is the portal on which you have been given access, and this is the first course, computer basics. This is the second course, programming basics, logics and techniques. And after that, you need to keep on spending your time every day 1 or 2 hours on C programming language. This is very important. And there are totally 20 sections we have. You can see here. I'll show you. There are totally 20 sections we have. And, and for every section, wherever it is necessary, I have given hands-on lab assignments. So hands-on lab assignments, that's nothing but I have explained all these topics to you. Is it clear? By writing the code before you. And I have given few examples to practice by your own. So if you are unable to do this hands-on lab by your own, then it's okay. You need not to worry. I have given the recorded solutions even for the hands-on lab, even for the hands-on lab here. Even for the hands-on lab, I have given to you. So our learning will go on live classes as well as self-learning also. Because guys, you need to understand, I may explain you 100 programs, but at the end of the day, if you don't do at least one program, if you don't do at least one program by your own, then it's of no use actually. Is it clear? Ultimately, you are the one who is going to participate in live programming. So practice from your side is very, very important. Now, we'll see what is loops. So generally loops is nothing but executing some block of statements repeatedly until a condition is satisfied. Looping is also known as iterations or repetitions. Let's try to understand when you should use loops. Say, for example, if I ask you to print your name 10 times, then generally what you do is you'll say printf because it is an output function in C language, and you'll write your name and you'll copy paste it for 10 times. That's fine. 10 times the name will be printed on the screen. But if any updation is required, if I say like I need star between first name and last name, then that updations you have to do 10 times. That's the thing. But if you follow this normal approach, then there will be a huge maintenance problem. That's why C programming language comes with a programming construct called loops. And there are totally two types of loops are there in C language. One is the entry check and second one is the exit check. In entry check, we have for loop and while loop. And in exit check, we have do while loop. I'll explain you all these three types of loops. Don't worry, practically by writing piece of code before you. But before that, you need to know the concept. Or we can say, we can divide the loops into two types. One is count control, okay, and second one is condition control. One is count control, and second one is condition control. Okay, let's try to understand what do you mean by count control and what do you mean by condition control. So, for example, you went to supermarket along with your mom. You went to supermarket along with your mom, and your mom said that, "Hey, can you go and pick 1 dozen of apples?" Your mom said that, "Hey, can you go and pick 1 dozen of apples?" So, guys, can you type in the chat box that how many apples will you pick if your mom says, "Hey, go and pick 1 dozen of apples"? Then can you tell me in the chat box that how many apples you pick? Just type in the chat box. So this is the counter, okay, where you'll find so many apples are there at the counter, and you have taken one small bag. You've taken small bag, and so guys, I'm just waiting for your response. Like if your mom says that go and pick 1 dozen of apples, then just type in the chat box that how many apples you'll pick. Very good. You'll pick 12 apples. That's nothing but you hold your bag, okay, pick one apple and drop it here. Then at the back of your mind, you'll you'll start counting or not? 2, 3, 4, 5. Let me know in the chat box, guys. So you'll pick one apple, put it in the bag, but subconsciously your counting will start in your mind, and you'll stop when the count reaches to 12. You'll stop when the count reaches to 12. So you are continuing on activity, and you are stopping that activity whenever your count reaches to a specific number. This is known as repeating a task continuously till a particular count is achieved. So this is known as count control. Everyone understood this? Everyone understood this? Please let me know. Okay, next. Second requirement is your mom said that, hey, you take this bag and get red chilies or green chilies. So generally chilies we want when you go to any departmental store, okay, or any vegetable market. So chilies we don't pick it on count basis. So what you will do is you will just keep on putting some chilies here till the bag is full. Till the bag is full. So, can I say it's condition controlled? What is that condition? You will be keep on putting chilies into your bag till your bag is full. Then the condition is your bag should be full. Understood everyone? To these two repetitive tasks, in one repetitive task at back of your mind, one counter is maintained, and second one is like till the bag is full. Is it clear? So like this you can take a lot of day-to-day examples in your life. And now we'll see some programming based upon these requirements. So what I'll do is I'll start code blocks id. I'll start code blocks id, and imagine the program what we are going to write is like you need to pick 1 dozen of apples. Is it clear? The program itself is like you need to pick 1 dozen of apples is your program. So let's see how we can do that program. Okay, so I'll just save this project as a test. It will be like a test.c. Okay, and I'll write this program. So guys, tell me, like I'll say printf pick the apple and put it in the bag. So this task, how many times has to be done actually?
12 times.
Very good, 12 times. So can I say there should be one variable who takes care of this counting process? So I'll declare one variable with the name count, and initially I'll just make it one. The variable value will be one actually. And I'll say while is the keyword actually. And I'll say the count variable till it reaches to 12, I want to perform this task. So pick the apple and put it in the bag. So you have taken the first apple, you kept in the bag. But the moment you pick second apple, automatically your counting will increase to one or not. So in the same way, we have to increment the count variables value. We have to increment the count variables value. And this is what we call actually the looping construct. So you can simply run this program and you'll see, pick the apple and put it in the bag. You'll find this particular statement totally 12 times in the screen. And like if you ask me, sir, can we keep the counter actually? Pick first apple, pick second apple, pick third apple, then I can say pick percentage the apple. Pick first apple, second apple, third apple. And in the place of percentage D, in the place of percentage D, you just use the count variable. Now, when you run this program, you'll be surprised to see that your your counting has started from 1 and it has ended when it reached to 12. So this is what we call actually count control. Is everyone clear with this very basic concept I've explained to you in order to make you familiar with the concept of loops, in order to make you understand what loops is and when we have to use loops. Okay. Now, if I ask you that write a program to print natural numbers from 1 to 100, then the same program, you can, your count will start from 1. What is the target condition? It will be 100. And instead of displaying this message and all this stuff, what you can do is you can simply print the the variable's value on the screen, nothing. You can say simply percentage D, and you can use slash T. Slash T means tab space. In between number to number, you'll get some space, and the moment you run, can you see 100 numbers on the screen? So guys, everyone understood. So simple concept. But the only thing is, you need to start practicing it. That is very, very important. Now, I'll make the count variable's value as 1000. Observe the code and tell me what will be the output of this program. Everyone should participate. You just tell me what will be the output of this program.
It will not start because count is 1000.
Very good. Very good. Means the output will be blank screen. Nothing will be there on the screen. Why? Because what is the initial value of count? 1000. And what is your loop says? If the count is less than 100, then you enter into body of the loop and you perform this task till the count reaches 200. But in the beginning itself, count is 1000. So this is known as entry check. Entry check. So guys, you can check. I said that there are two types of loops. One is entry check and second one is exit check. In entry check, we have for loop and while loop. Is it clear? In that for loop is count controlled and generally while loop is condition controlled. So I'll explain you everything in detail. But as of now, you try to understand that what is entry check. Is this clear, everyone? Is this clear, everyone?
Yes.
Very good. Now what I'll do is I'll change this program to do while loop. In do while loop, what happens, our loop will start with the keyword do and it will end with the keyword while. As it is ending with the keyword while, it requires a semicolon. But previously, when I have written the while keyword in the beginning, you don't require semicolon there, but here you require semicolon. And you run this, you'll get simply 100 numbers on the screen. But now this time if I say 1000, can anyone tell me what will be the output of this program? Guess and tell me what will be the output
It
of.
will print at least once, then it will.
Very good. Super. The do while loop will be executed at least once. So when it executes at least once, can I say 1000 will be printed on the screen? Am I right? Everyone understood? It will execute means this is known as exit check. This is known as exit check. Means though the condition is false initially, but the loop will be executed at least one time. The loop will be executed at least one time. Is this clear, everyone, guys? Now, there is one more loop, that is for loop. So generally, for loop is always recommended. For loop is always recommended whenever you know the number of repetitions in advance. Like when you know that how many times this loop has to be executed, then it is always recommended to go with for loop. So every loop requires totally three expressions. One is the initial value, second one is the condition, third one is the updation. Now, I'll say count equals to 1. This is the initial value. Then I'll say count is less than or equal to 100. This is the target condition. And count plus plus is nothing but the updation. You are incrementing the counter. So you can simply say printf slash t percentage d comma count. And let me run this, and you'll see 100 numbers on the screen. So the only difference between the previous loops and this loop is, in previous loops, we have written these three expressions at three different locations, whereas in this example, we have written all the three expressions in one line, like the initial value, the condition, as well as the incrementation. Everyone, is this clear up to now? Just give me the confirmation. Or if you have any doubts here, is it clear? Very good. Now listen, expression 1 is not mandatory, but if you are not giving expression 1, it's okay. You can put semicolon, and here you have to give the initial value. Is it clear? You'll get the same output. There won't be any change in the output. Updation, if you are not giving, it's okay, but you have to write like this. But now what happens, like this loop will go into infinite. You can see here, it went into infinite. Why? Why? Because there is no incrementation. Count is 1. 1 is always less than 100. That it prints 1 actually. So if you are not giving that updation within the body of the loop, it's okay. But at least here after the print statement you have to give. Means if you're not giving within the for expression, but at least you have to give somewhere. You'll get the same thing. Now, imagine if this is also missing, what happens? So people thinks that there will be an error, but it won't throw any error. It won't throw any error. The loop will become infinite, and it will be keep on generating numbers continuously. Why? Because you have said from where it has to start. You said that it should print and it should increment, but you have never given that where it should stop actually. So whenever you are working with any looping construct, remember that every looping construct should have initial value, target condition, and the update statement. Is everyone is clear with the basic concepts of loops? So once you are clear with the basic concepts of loops, then I can give you one programming example. The programming example is program to read a table number and print tables till 12. So what do you mean by table number? Like in our childhood, we have seen a table book in which we'll find tables from 1 to till 20. Is it clear? For 50 numbers or for 100 numbers, based upon your grade, you'll find that. Okay. So we need to write a program related to that. We should read one table number from the user. So for that, you should declare one variable like t number. And from where the counting starts generally, if you see any table book, what is the starting number? Like, is it 5 ones are 5, 5 twos are 10? So we need one variable for counting, like 5 ones are 5, 2, 5, 3, something like that. And we can say result. Three variables I'm declaring. Okay, now I'll say printf enter table number. Now I'll say scanf percentage d ampersand of p number. I'm reading this. Once you have taken the input, now can you tell me, Mangaldev, that till what number we have to print? Till what number?
Till 10.
Till 10 we can print it, till 12 we can print it, till 20 we can print it. Am I right?
Yeah.
So who decides? It is the client who decides actually. Am I right? See, if you are developing a software, then you should ask the client, like, you want tables till which number? If the client says, like, I want up to 20, then you repeat a loop up to 20. Or if the client says, I want up to 10, then you repeat up to 10 actually. Now, from this, can you tell me, is it count control or condition controlled? It's count control or count control. Am I right? So it is said very clearly that up to 10 times or 20 times or 50 times. So whenever it is a count control, it is always recommended to go with for loop. So use for loop when you know the number of repetitions in advance. That's the best programming approach. So I'll say for c equals to 1, c is less than or equal to 10, or you can say C++. So here, whether you are printing up to 10 or 12 or 20, that doesn't make sense. That can be of anything. It's okay. Okay, now I can say result equals to table number into C. Imagine table number you have inputted 8. Then it will be 8 into 1 equals to 8. And while printing, I want to print this in a table format, in a formatted way. Then I'll say slash n percentage d into percentage d equals to percentage d. So in this format, I want to get the output. Now we have to tell in the place of first percentage d, like 8 ones are 8. That's nothing but table number. Second percentage d, c value. Third percentage d, result variables value. Now you just run this program and see what kind of output you are getting if I enter 8. So you got 8th table till 10 actually. So guys, is it interesting? Have you understood and how simple it is? There may be some requirement that every time you don't want up to 10 actually. Then what you can do is you can declare one variable with the name target. Okay. And you can ask the user printf enter your target value. Enter your target value. And you can say scanf percentage d comma ampersand of target. Now what you can do here is instead of 10, you can say target here. Now this loop will be repeated till target. So when I run this program, it will ask enter table number, I'll say 5th table. Enter your target value, I want to say up to 20. Then you'll see 5th table up to 20 actually. 5th table up to 20. So Mangaldeep, have you understood this concept?
Yes.
And I think you might have learned this long back.
Yes.
In your engineering.
Yes.
So you might be revising this. And what happens, like in your engineering, you might have learned, but you might have learned only for the sake of marks, passing your engineering. That might be your goal. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
But now the way you look at the subject will be at a different level because you are learning something for your career actually. So it will be at a different level. Okay, so like this, you can practice like programming examples. So what I want is, I want to have some hands-on experience so that when I explain you the next program, you'll understand clearly. Okay, so one more task I want to give you that Mangaldeep, are you aware of this code challenges platforms? Code challenges platform.
Yes, lead code.
Lead code.
Yeah.
Yeah. So CodeChef, do you have account in CodeChef?
No.
Okay. So it's better. We can start with CodeChef first because CodeChef is a bit simple, easy to start with. And remember, always in the beginning, if something is happening positively, that's something. But if you are able to do it easily, then automatically it is going to increase your confidence level. Am I right?
Yes,
So
yes.
that push is very, very important. So like I recommend each of our students to begin with CodeChef, and once you are good at CodeChef, then you can go with some other platforms like HackerRank and LeetCode, and there are dozens of platforms are there. So when you look at this CodeChef, it has totally three dimensions for this platform. The first one is like learn, second one is like practice, and third one is like compete actually. But most of the students, what they do, they won't learn the subject actually. They won't work on the basic fundamentals and foundations, and they directly go to compete when they try to participate in competitions. But what I say is, you can participate in competitions only when you have good practice, and you'll get practice only when you learn actually. So what you can do is, you just create your account, click on this learn. You'll find so many courses here. Just click on this learn C. In learn C, first module will be like outputting and math operators. Very basic level programs you'll see here. So click it and click on start learning. And I think it will give you like 10 questions like this. And in the first challenge, it will give you the complete code. You have to click on this submit button. That's it. Just to understand this platform. Okay. And after that, you can just click on this next button. Okay. And it will give you the code. So already I have solved. That's why I got this message like I love C. But when you look at it now, then this will be plain actually. There won't be any code written. So you have to see the statement. You have to see the statement. Then based on that, you have to do some changes in this coding platform. And once if it is okay, then it will display the status as right. And then again, you can go to this next one. So I'll just show you. I'll show you like I kept few uh, assignments left open unsolved so that I can show you. So when you go for arrays concept, you can click on this start learning. And now you can see here, it is giving the statement. Arrays are used to store multiple values in a single variable. Instead of declaring separate variables for each value, you can declare an array actually. So it is saying to declare an array, you have to define the variable of that type. So what I need to do is, I need to simply this hyphen is there in a blank, that I need to write it like it is an integer array, and it's saying that integer cards like 4 elements are there. So create an array num for the 5 positive integers. So we have 4, you have to keep 5, that's it. Nothing is there, and you have to click on submit. If everything is okay, you'll get a perfect answer, and you have to click on next. Now it says that output the third element from the left in the given array. So generally the array index starts with 0. So third element means 0, 1, 2. So here it will be number of 2. See, I'll explain you arrays later, but I'm just giving an idea that how you need to solve a question in this platform. If everything is fine, then your status will be correct. So what I want is, I want you to create an account on CodeChef and at least start with these. So simple modules are there, like outputting variables, strings, array strings, user input, conditions, and loops. Only 7 modules are there. Okay. Once you have done with this, then you can go for the intermediate level. And once you finish this, automatically you will get one certificate. This is the sample certificate you can see here. This is the sample certificate, you will get it. So like already you are a working professional, so for you it's okay. But for students, these certifications will create a great weightage because these are all well-known platforms in the market actually. So Mangaldeep, I'll stop here because I want you to practice at least one or two programming examples on these loops, so that tomorrow I can teach you some advanced level stuff in loops actually.
Okay.
Is it clear
Yeah,
or
yeah.
any doubts?
No, no. Till now it is clear.
Okay. So
Okay.
any kind of doubt, you just please keep a note on that. So first I'll clarify your doubts and then only I'll proceed with the session.
Okay.
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 And keep focused these 30-35 days. I know you might be busy with your day-to-day work and your job, but
Yeah, still I will try to focus. Yeah.
focus, at least keep 1 hour for me because I want to see the transformation in you.
Sure, 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 sir.
Okay. So thank you
Okay.
so much and
Okay.
wish you all the best.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Bye.
Good night.
Good night.